Hello everyone and welcome to another video tutorial with me. Today I'm gonna go scatterbrained and go way into the future of some things. But this is for also people who are more advanced or they would like to know how to draw figures or people or figure drawing. I'm only about a year or so into figure drawing, but I have some insights that might help you that might probably make it easier. So without further ado, let's get started. You can use a reference if you want, but I'm going to do these kind of without reference, just so we have more freedom to do whatever we want. Yeah, so first you want to draw, let's say, just draw a point, and then just draw a random line, and then maybe draw another point and draw a random line. Be creative, like draw a point, give the line like this shape, or draw a point and draw just, I don't know, draw a point. And then maybe do a couple smooth ones, so draw a point, and then just big line curve. Yeah, just draw a bunch of points with really crazy lines, points, and whatever. Okay, and then we'll use these to draw figures in really weird ways. I'm not gonna worry too much about 100% accuracy in our anatomy or anything like that, but relative measurements do help. So, let's take this point to start with. We're gonna draw a circle. That's gonna be our head, and what I like to do is I use measurements that appear in books a lot. So like 7.5 heads is about the human proportion or the average person. That's the one I use most of the time. You can use heroic proportions, which is 8 or so or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Not in this stage anyway. We're just going to go rough. So from here, I'm going to simplify it even further. I'm going to count 1 head, and roughly that's about 2 and 3. That's the only one we need to know for the torso bit. So here is where our belly button is. So if you imagine your belly button, the belly button is also where the hips come in to be the least wide part of our body. So it's the curved part of our body here. Shoulders are in between the first and the second head, and they're usually about 1/3 of the way down or about here. So we just draw a line for that. If we count one more head down, that's where the crotch is. So if we just draw a V for that. And so the hips will be kind of the wider part of the body. This should be about one head, like about one head width apart. But don't worry about it too much. You're gonna have some that look really skewy and wrong and whatever. And that's about all we need to know. If we want to, we can just draw a line for our hips, and that'll be actually a pretty balanced figure in a way. The other thing, reference point, if you're a guy, your chest comes to about the second head down. If you're a girl, boobs and stuff tend to go a little bit lower, like about here, just underneath that line. But that's about the relative measurement. And from there, if you know where the chest is, you can just add a couple lines to indicate that. And then from the shoulders, just draw the neck. If you're a guy, so let's pretend this is a guy, the traps will come like this, really big. And legs are a bit trickier to measure because they appear in between. So we take 1 head, 2 heads down, and then maybe another head down, and the knees will be about here in between. And if we take another head, and then that, so the legs will end about here on this one, and then the feet can extend to here. Roughly. If it doesn't look quite right, that's fine. There's foreshortening and all that other stuff. And then from here, we just draw arms. On average, the elbow should meet up with the third part here, but since this is a bit skewed, this elbow will come up a bit higher, and this elbow will come a bit lower. So we just say, for example, the elbows are about here, and the hands should come to about midway of the thigh, but since this is higher, we start the hands about here, and this one's hand should be a lot lower, like about here somewhere. Okay? And This looks like a really weird figure, but if we imagine that this is the front of the knee and she's kind of on a weird angle or something, but we can use our imagination a bit. So yeah, we can take that idea and then we can apply it to all these lines we've drawn. So if I draw a head, let's see, count one head down, so that's about the chest area, this is about the belly button, this is about the crotch, so we just start with that. Maybe this one's side facing, so this is where the lower back will be, this will be the upper back will be, maybe we'll make this guy a little hunchback. And then the butt should come underneath the crotch line, and then here. And then maybe we'll make this a girl. Yeah, we'll make this a girl. And then, let's see, how will the legs work? The legs will maybe 1, 2, about here. And then here, something like that. And then the arms drop, elbow, hands, something like that. Just having some fun with it. This one we can make the head really tiny since the line is very small. And then we can go 1, 2, about the chest, about the belly button, about the crotch. Here, that's about the waist. Shoulders should be about here. Hips should be going this way. Might be the same as this one a little bit, so we'll just do this. Maybe add the chest line about here. Something like that. And we can draw like a V shape if we can't if we just want to define certain things about like the hips. And then we drop from here, 1, 2, about halfway. Knee should be about here, knee should be about here. One more, that's where the ends of the legs should be, and then the feet can do this. And then, I don't know, you can have the elbows maybe coming behind a little bit. And maybe this one, arms stretching around. Maybe her arm's a bit long for that one, but that's okay. Yeah, have fun with this. Just use the lines as a guide for the body shape. For this one, maybe we can put the head about here, and then we just draw the neck here, and then we start determining 1, 2, this is where about the chest would be, and then maybe about here is where the belly button will be, and then here is where the crotch will be, and then we drop the butt underneath here, and then we curve the back a little bit, and maybe he's pointing, we'll make this a he. So make sure this kind of matches up, and then here, point. And it's like looking at clouds and figuring out shapes. Sorry, 1, 2, about here, 3, 4. And sometimes you don't need to measure it out too much. Just know that this leg will be bigger than this leg because this one is further away from us. So we can use just like foreshortening, and just if we want to make it quicker. And that guy's pointing at something. And let's see, this one is a big one. So we'll start with a big head. Come down here. 1, 2, shoulders are about here. 3 is the belly button. So we can just do that, and then maybe 4 quickly, butt comes around here, maybe a sassy little pose. So if we're doing a bent elbow, it should be higher than the belly button here, and then maybe here, and let's just do a real dramatic leg. Sometimes we'll break the proportion just to make it look more dramatic, like that. All right, so there's lots of things you can do with these. I don't think I can get through all the lines I drew just in the 10 minutes that I have, but this is just the starting way to practice, and I'm just giving you basic measurements. So shoulder should be about 1/3 between the first and second head. Belly button is the 3rd head down. Crotch is the 4th head down. The knee should be in between the 5th, 6th, round about halfway between the 6th and 5th and the 6th, and then between the 6th, halfway the 6th and the 7th, that's where the end of the leg should come, and then the foot should be about that last half of a head. Arms should be, elbow should come into about the 1/3 of the waist, and that should be it. Thank you for watching.